There's something that's going on that a lot of people don't realize that happens in the car market every single year. This is actually the best January we have ever had at our dealership. This is Alex. He's our mechanic. What's up?
What's up?
And then all of a sudden one day it's like, oh, what happened? And then everybody wants to buy a car. Crazy. We have people lined out the door. It's always chaotic. Kids running everywhere. We have to direct parking. We're a small car lot, and this is happening all across the country. So we're at an interesting place in the car market right now because we're getting back to a time period where we're seeing more seasonality. We're seeing more normalcy that's happening in the car market. And right now during this period, there's something that's going on that a lot of people don't realize that happens in the car market every single year. And what is that? We have a huge spike in used car prices, and then we have a crash. Pretty much that happens every single year. And this is nothing due to the production shortage, anything like that that's happened over the last 3 years. This is just the normal ebb and flow of what happens throughout the course of a year in the car market. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about tax time. Tax time is something that's about to happen right now in the car market. What happens during tax time is used car prices, especially prices that are $15,000 and under, they see this massive demand spike from consumers who are getting tax refund checks, and then they rush to car dealerships, much like mine, and they buy cars. And that's what happens every single year. So because we know this as a dealer and we ramp up our buying during November, December, January, and we're even able to buy stuff that's usually out of our range because other dealers are just stepping out of the market. Like right here, we've got a 2014 Nissan Pathfinder. We've got a 2006 Jeep Commander. It's got 175,000 miles. We got a 2007 Camry right here. And this is stuff that typically we wouldn't be able to buy because the customers that I serve, we keep our price points under $5,000. And a lot of these vehicles, especially over the last couple years, have been just unobtainable for us. And now when dealers get slower, we're able to step in and buy this stuff. And we have to buy it right now because we know that a month and a half from now, when tax season kicks in and these reactionary dealers have to rush to the auction to load their inventory back up and think that they can now sell everything again for any price, so they're going to pay any price at auction. We're not going to be able to buy this stuff in a month because it's going to greatly increase in, I won't say value, but in price at the auction. And when I say greatly increase, like something like this Camry that we'd pay probably $2,500 to $3,000 for right now, this car is going to be $4,000, $4,500 in a month. And these changes happen instantly. The first week that those tax checks get into these dealers, the wholesale prices immediately spike. And whenever we see this happen, we pretty much go on basically a vacation from buying cars for about a month because we have to. These prices get to a point where if we buy them, we're not going to be able to sell them to our customer for a reasonable price and for what we want our prices to be. This is Alex. He's our mechanic. All right, what are you doing?
Neutral safety switch.
Neutral safety switch is all the way down here.
Yeah.
So Alex gets to basically take apart the whole car to get to one little safety switch. Yeah, there you go. Fun.
Yeah.
So now we get to this golden little section of the car market when all these dealers are buying everything. They're able to sell everything, and it only lasts for about a month and a half that consumers actually have money to be able to dump on cars. And then what happens? So just about as fast as the money gets here, it goes away because these consumers, they're not really holding on to this money for a rainy day. What they're doing is as soon as they get it, they dump it on cars. They come here and we see it every single year. We'll have just this absolute rush, and we know the exact day that these tax checks get to these consumers because we'll sell 10, 13 cars in one day. And the first day we'll sell double-digit cars, and we're not a big car lot. We'll have maybe 75, 80 cars that are ready to go on that day, and we'll sell 10, 13 of them in one single day. It's crazy. We have people lined out the door. It's always chaotic. Kids running everywhere. We have to direct parking. I mean, we have parking spots for like 10 customers, and we fill all that up, and we have to start parking customers back here, and we have to have literally one person. That's all their job is for about a week and a half. All they're doing is directing parking. We're a small car lot, and this is happening all across the country. So this is how dramatic that it can be in the car market, where you go from these dealers, no sales, they're dead, no customers. And then all of a sudden one day it's like, oh, what happened? And then everybody wants to buy a car. And it seems like every single year these dealers get caught by surprise, and they're not really sure what's going on, but they just know that they're selling cars, and they got to replenish these cars, and they got to do it today. And all these dealers find out the same thing on the same day every single year, so they all rush to the auction at the very same time. So wholesale prices go to the moon for that month and a half time frame. So now, the reason why this has such a dramatic effect on the car market is because dealers are reactionary. And when I say that, that means that they are only going to be buying cars at a rate of which they're selling cars. And that's due to a lot of the elements of how car dealers buy their cars, how they spend their capital, how they have capital. So a lot of car dealers, they don't have cash. They don't pay cash for their cars. They're broke. So they do something called a floor plan. They use a floor plan, which is basically just the equivalent of swiping a credit card to buy their car. So as they go through this slow time and they buy cars to fill up their lot and they don't sell any, then they tap their credit, they tap their availability basically just to store cars on their lot, and then they can't go to auctions anymore, because if they're not selling cars, then they're not going to be as willing to go and buy more cars that they're in turn going to have to pay more interest on the longer that they sit. So the appetite for car dealers towards the end of the year, towards the beginning of the year, is not there. So they don't go to auctions. They don't run up the prices. Prices are the best that they are all year round for wholesale prices. So that's when a dealer like me, who prepares for these kind of things, that's when I'll go and I'll load up, and in preparation for what I know is coming, and it's tax season for us, and that's when we're going to sell the most amount of cars. But I say all that to say that that's the reason why this is such a dramatic change in the car market, because you have a time period where dealers who are reactionary and don't prepare for things because they really can't, because they just don't have the money for it, where they go from a dry season to all out. And when they have this all out time, when people are coming to buy cars, they panic. And you can have panic in both ways. You can panic from not selling cars, which is what a lot of them do during the slower times. And when they panic in that way, they're not buying cars. But also the inverse of that, they panic to go rush to these car auctions to buy cars once they sell cars. When tax checks hit, yes, they're going to sell cars. These dealers, they will empty, a lot of cases, their lots. I know for us, we've got about 100 cars now, and if tax time were to hit us today, in about a 10-day span, we would sell everything. And that's what happens to us every single year, and we know that, so we prepare for it. But these dealers, they're not doing that right now, and then they're going to get hit by this tax rush, and then they have to rush to the auction. Just a little side note, because I know a lot of you like to check up on our business and see how we're doing right now. We wanted to load up for tax time, but it's my sales staff has made it difficult. And typically, if the economy gets worse, or people are struggling more, or if inflation's high, like right now, and new car prices are really high, and used car prices are still high, our business actually does pretty good. So this is actually the best January we have ever had at our dealership. So I say all that to say that I wanted to load up and have 150 something cars on our car lot, but it's been hard because we've been selling a lot of cars, and I think that's not a factor of the car market doing well, because we know, I mean, we're seeing the numbers. Car market's not well right now. I think it's a factor of, because the car market's not well, because prices are so expensive, we're inheriting a lot more customers in our range, because our range is $5,000 and under. So typically when the economy's not doing that great, or prices are really high, our business does better. So that's what I think we can really factor in the way that we're able to sell cars right now, and sell a lot of cars and have a record-breaking January, is just because people are hurting, and they're looking for a cheaper product. Probably not a good outlook for the the car market, for the state of the economy, that we're doing better. I like it, but I would rather the economy do better, and we do better because the economy is better. But this is what we're dealing with now. But you can see, I mean, some of these cars, we shouldn't have been able to buy them in the last couple months to get in our price range, but we have been, because wholesale prices have absolutely tanked. So hopefully savings are going to come to the consumer because wholesale prices are so much lower. But the consumer, if they're wise and they're listening to this, if you're a consumer looking for the cars in this kind of price range, I still want you to wait, because even though prices are better now, dealers haven't caught up with it. Even though they're getting better prices on the wholesale level, getting better prices at the auction, they haven't lowered their prices to consumers yet. And they probably know a lot of what I know, is that tax time's right around the corner. So they're going to hold on at least till that. And then after tax time, you should start seeing these dealers start to wake up a little bit. And wholesale prices are going to continue to come down after that. And hopefully you're going to get some better prices after tax time. I want you to wait. Don't buy a car from me. Wait after tax time. Don't buy a car from me during tax time. It's the worst time in the world. So wait way after tax time. Let dealers feel the pinch a little bit, because they're about to go through this little golden age for about a month and a half. Let them have it. Wait them out. Prices will come down towards later on this year. So I don't stop very often to talk about the cars that we have on our lot. But I want to stop for this one, because this is a Buick Rendezvous. And there's a lot of people that love these cars. And I buy them because people love them and we sell them. This is like the ugliest car that I have ever seen. There you go. It's frumpy. I've always hated the looks of these cars. Like I said, I buy them because people buy them from us and they like them, but I would never drive one of these. This is a car deal. I'm trying to sell this car, right? But I'm saying this is the ugliest thing that I've ever seen. Frumpy. Ugly car. It's just, I don't know why just in the middle of this video, I just want to stop and just tell you how ugly this car is that I'm trying to sell. Don't buy one of these. Don't be someone who drives one of these. It's an ugly car. All right, and then what happens after tax time gets here? Well, money's gone. Dealers have loaded their lots with things that they paid way too much money for, and now they're stuck with them. So what happens then is that dealers will sit on these cars for another 30 days or so, and they'll still continue to go to auction because they know prices are high, but they need to refill their lot. So they'll continue to just pay these high prices, and the high prices on the wholesale level will last still a little bit longer than the tax money is actually here, and then that dealers are actually selling cars because they have to refill their lots. And when they get to that point where they refill their lots and they're not selling anymore, then the crash happens every single year in the car market, because dealers, they overextend their credit, their floor plans, they load up their lots, which were empty about a month ago, and they paid way too much for these cars. So now they have to stop going to auction, and that's when a dealer like me, who is prepared for this, gone on vacation for a month of buying cars, that's when we go back in, beginning of summer, we'll go back in and we'll be able to get deals again. So you as a consumer, what do you need to do? Well, I'll tell you, if you're looking at the cars that are like $20,000 and under, you never want to be a buyer during the springtime. You never want to be a buyer from the end of February to about the beginning of summer, because these are going to be the times every year. Doesn't matter what year you're looking at, doesn't matter what crazy time we just came out of, it doesn't matter where the economy is. As long as the IRS is going to push out tax checks to people who overpaid on their taxes, who get tax refunds back, that is the time period of the year that cars will be the most expensive. You do not want to be a buyer of a vehicle during tax time. If you're waiting on your tax refund to actually buy a car, hold on to it. Hold on to it till the end of summer. Make whatever you have work until until these prices are going to come down, because they will come down. You get this spike, and I know I've been saying downtrend in the car market, and I still believe that to be true. But I think you're going to have, I know it happens every single year. You're going to have this massive just spike in prices, especially at the lower end used car dealer side. And just for tax time, it's going to happen. It's going to last for about a month and a half. So you need to wait if you're looking at that range of car, because prices will go back to where they are now right after that peak. and there will be a crash in the market in those particular cars. Now, listen to me. It's not a car market crash. I'm not saying there's a car market crash. I'm saying what happens every single year in this range of vehicle, there is a peak that's so high that it has to crash. And it's just a crash of rationale and not necessarily overall price from these dealers. They get way overexposed. They think they can get way too much money for these cars during tax time because they can, because consumers come in and buy them, and then those consumers get washed out of the system, and then it comes back down to reality. So after that, we'll go back to our slow grind, but this is something that's coming into the market, and I know this. I've lived it for the last 13, 14 years in the car market. Every single year, it's exactly the same, and it's going to be no different this time. If you got any value out of this video, please hit that subscribe button. It really, really helps me out. And like the video. Thank you. Well, I was going to record right here. You scared me. You just walked up on it. Oh, I forgot. What am I supposed to do? Runs right in the middle of February, end of February, beginning of March.